Microphone knifed up in the Meadowlands. Skinny chain on family, that's 30 grand. Dirty crown.
I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV Velocities in Music. Today we're going to do a rap album in 2011. I actually really enjoy doing rap albums. I think that that's a really good way to get into some different music and get different styles of music out there, because the only style, the only genre of music we don't touch, and that's just because we don't feel apt to do it, is country. But hip-hop and rap, we like doing that. So today we're going to do Raekwon's new 2011 album, Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang. Raekwon is an ex-member of Wu-Tang. Are they together still? Or?
Well, you know, they came out with an album a few years ago,
Right.
but I think it's one of those things, and to tell you the truth, while I really like Wu-Tang Clan, I'm not one of those crazed fans.
Right. We're not Ian Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. Not the Jethro Tull guy. We have a friend. Anyways.
No, we don't.
Anyways. So while I'm not a craze fan, I do try to kind of keep up with them, and they come out with albums every now and then, but more regularly you get things like this, like Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, where someone from Wu-Tang Clan comes out with an album. You know, Ghostface Killah had one in that was like December, and I mean, I believe Raekwon was on that. Ghostface Killah is on here. I mean, the guys...
Method Man's on here. And Busta Rhymes is on here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Busta Rhymes. Anyways.
But yeah, they do a great job.
Right.
So this is another one of those releases. Raekwon came out with Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2 back in 2009, I believe. That got rave reviews. It was a great rap album, and I mean, it harkens back to Only Built for Cuban Links, the first one, which was in like the 90s sometime. So the fact that he's doing that, and even somewhere on this album, he says something about making Cuban Links Part 3 in the lyrics somewhere, which is kind of cool. It's cool that he's referencing his discography, and obviously in the title referencing his group, the Wu-Tang Clan, and you get that through this unified concept of the album of Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, like this martial arts battle. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're using samples throughout the album from old movies, right?
Yeah, and one thing, you know, while that really works to provide that concept, I think they overdo it sometimes on individual songs. My prime example is track 5, Butter Knives. While it's a good song that they say he's a swordsman or whatever sample, I'm done with it by like halfway through the song, and then it keeps happening, and so it gets a little old for me. My other big gripe about this album is that I just feel like it has this huge absence of hooks, of vocal hooks in the songs. Now, there are choruses sometimes, but a lot of the times they're just rap parts through them that has a similar, if not the same beat, and a similar, if not the same lyrical flow as the verses of the songs. So really the only thing to draw you to it is the fact that it's the same lyrics every time it comes up. But there's so many lyrics on here because it's a huge rap album that's even hard to pick up on. And there are some songs with some kind of sung hooks, and those are kind of my track picks, but like Chop Chop Ninja and Rock and Roll, and that's why those stuck out to me. But even still, they don't even have the best hooks out there. They're not really even that strong. They're just, to me, stronger than the ones that, you know, don't have them at all.
Right. And one thing I really liked about this is that there's so many guest appearances on this album. Like I mentioned before, Method Man and Busta Rhymes, and some other artists that I had never even heard of before. I probably should. But I felt like they added a whole nother level to this album. Actually, and at times even overshadowed Raekwon's rapping, which I felt like was okay, and usually pretty good. And the rhymes I feel are good. My biggest issue is that I felt like the production styles, there was like 2 main strategies employed, and they almost oscillated in between tracks. Like you'd have one that's really kind of thuggish, kind of like urban hip-hop with a lot of like electronic beats and things, and then there's some old school where they use horns and stuff that you would see, you know, kind of in the early 90s, which is one thing that you have to love about the Wu-Tang Clan members, is that they keep it real. They keep everything so authentic sounding.
They do that about Ghostface Killah, and it's true here.
Yeah, and they don't do a lot of flashy things, but I just felt like the switching back and forth, I mean, some people will probably like that, but I just think that strategy, just employing that strategy on an album to where you have 2 main style of songs, and then they just rotate back and forth, I feel like whoever the listener is, they're either going to prefer one or the other, and then they're going to like the other half less. And so that means you're going to just inherently build in track displacement in these songs. And while a lot of these songs are shorter, there are some longer tracks. And this album's only like 49 minutes long, but it feels a lot longer than that because it's 17 tracks, and I only ended up liking about half of them. And I feel like that actually kind of makes me go, well, I kind of wish that this was some of the songwriting, the rapping, everything could have just been taken up a notch, I feel like. And I agree with a lot of the things you said too.
I agree with a lot of things you just said.
Yeah. And I feel like that there's never really a time where any of these just get, where they're just catchy. And that goes into the hooks. It really just comes down to that this album is good, it's just lacking just a little bit.
This is, exactly. There's better rap out there that you can listen to. If you liked this and you like that sampled theme, I highly recommend that you go check out this old compilation collaboration rap album. It's called Game Over, and all the beats are made from samples of video games.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I really recommend you check that out if you like this kind of thing.
What are you feeling, thinking?
I'm thinking 68.
68?
Yeah.
I'm going 69. I feel like that's where it's at. It's just a hair under that really pretty good range. To where it's just like there's a couple things that we'd like to see changed and improved on, but I feel like that's where it's at. What did you guys think about Shaolin versus Wu-Tang? Did you favor one side of the song or the song productions over the others? We want to know. So tell us at www.velocitiesandmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.